Enjoyed the show. Thought it was a great night. It's great to see so many of you. Thanks for coming out and supporting Revolution, and thanks for covering the show. I can start taking questions, and some of the wrestlers from tonight's matches are going to join us in a moment. Should I take one before we get started?
Milhausen from the Zone. Tony, great show tonight. And where would you rate that main event in terms of best matches in AEW history?
I think it was one of the greatest matches in AEW history. Here at Revolution, we've had some of the best matches in the history of the company, and I would say certainly in the top singles matches, quite possibly the greatest match we've ever had. Questions, guys? Oh,
Who's the best wrestler in the world? Is it Kenny Omega? Is it John Moxley? Is it Bryan Danielson? I'm just curious. Tell me, Dave. Is it your boy Kenny? Is it John? Yeah, laugh all you want, dipshit. I'm the fucking man now! Me! I'm the best wrestler in the world! There is no more complete wrestler on this planet. Nobody's got my body. Nobody's got my mind. Nobody's got my brain. Inside that ring, on the microphone, hell. I don't need a whole group backing me. I don't need someone in my ear advising me what to say, how to walk, how to talk. There is nobody. And I mean nobody on my level. And you're going to hear it over and over again because ain't nobody dethroning the devil. God damn, I got a hole going out now. Shit's getting real, isn't it? But I feel good. My back ain't against the wall no more. I got nothing to panic about. I'm having fun now. Tony, you ready to have some fun, answer some questions?
Yeah.
Good shit. Got some Kalen and Kalen pickles over there. Going to eat the shit out of that. God fucking damn it. This stupid fucking bum. So when I was in the Senior Bowl All-Star game, no big fucking deal, and I played in the game, I was running on a sweep. I had 15 tackles going into the first half. If you don't believe me, Google it, you fucking marks. And a fat roly-poly-oly offensive lineman made a cut block right on my left leg and tore my MCL and my meniscus, and it has been nagging the fucking shit out of me ever since. But did that stop me from tapping out the best wrestler in the world? I'm just curious, Dave, did it? No, it fucking didn't. Oh my God, that's a good fucking pickle. Jesus Christ, classic Dill. Anybody want a piece? Real, nobody wants a pickle? How about you? You want a pickle? Come here, dipshit. Take a pickle. You, fuckface. Take a pickle. You. Yeah. What are you, fucking deaf? Tell me what you think of this Kalen and Kalen pickle. Take a big bite. Yeah, all right. Now fuck off. Yeah. God damn it. All right. So here's the thing. I watch these things every single time, and they're so fucking long. No offense. So fucking long. So, and also the questions kind of suck. So can you guys do me a fucking favor? Hit me with some hard shit. Okay? Fucking give it to me because you're journalists, right? You're not right, Will? You're a fucking journalist? Yeah. Not a fucking journalist. Great. All right, here we go. Who's going first? Yeah, guy with the slick black hair looked like a fucking rat. Pickles. Oh,
Liam Crowley with comicbook.com. Max, congrats
comicbook.com?
Comicbook.com.
Oh, wow, it's like the New York Times.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
Congrats on the title defense tonight.
Yep.
You've beaten the likes of Ricky Starks and Bryan Danielson so far in your title defenses.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just talking about people I beat, like John Moxley and Chris Jericho.
The list could go
CM
on
Punk
and on.
Yeah. Keep going.
Who, from people of your past or people you haven't faced yet, are you looking to cement by beating in this title reign?
God damn, man. To be perfectly brutally honest, I'm not a mark like everybody else who works here. I don't have dream matches. What I have is this. The most important title in all of professional wrestling. What everybody's dream should be is to face me because there is nobody more important in this business than MJF. How's that for an answer? Good. Yeah, okay, rat shit. Who else? What, are we scared? There we go, Will.
Will Washington,
I know
Fightful.
your name. Jesus Christ. You're a great guy.
So,
Yeah.
about
Don't laugh at him. Jesus Christ.
It's my friend, man.
Oh, all right. Okay, Dreads. What were you saying?
5 minutes into the Iron Man match tonight, you are making the rounds virally for having thrown a drink, a mom's drink,
Yeah.
on her kid.
Yeah.
So this question is kind of a twofold. It goes for both Max and for Tony. One for Max.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind throwing the drink on the kid?
Kid looked thirsty. What's the second question?
And two, Tony, will there be any type of consequences for Max?
We had a conversation before we came up here. We had a conversation, a serious conversation, and I mean that. And it's not to be taken lightly. The young man, Titus, was a real pro about it. And we'll see Titus here again in AEW. And I believe Titus is actually coming to Sacramento. But I was just with him, and he was a real champ about it. And, the champion didn't act like a champion there. But I think Titus was great.
Salt of the earth, that Titus. Real worried about him. What else we got? Yeah.
Amy Nemedy with WrestleJoy. Congratulations on your title defense.
Yeah.
So you just fought a 16-minute Iron Man match with one of the best wrestlers in the world, one of the best technical wrestlers in the
world. You know who the best one is now?
Clearly, it's you.
Yeah.
So I was curious, what are your thoughts as you've realized that you have successfully defended your championship and dethroned one of the greatest wrestlers in the world? And what are your preparations heading into a match like a 60-minute Iron Man match?
So my prep was absolutely insane, and I am not afraid to admit that I understood the task at hand when it came to facing the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. I am not going to sit here and pretend that Bryan Danielson isn't an absolutely incredible athlete, because he is. Every single day, I'd wake up at 5 a.m. I would take a cold plunge. I would then do fasted cardio for 45 minutes. And then after that fasted cardio, I'd go in the sauna for 30 minutes. And then after that sauna, I would take a shower, not a cold shower, a normal shower. Then I would eat 12 ounces of oatmeal and 10.5 ounces of white eggs, no yolk. And then I would go to the gym and I would lift like a maniac. And then I would go on the Stairmaster for an hour. And I'm sure there are people at home who are watching this right now that think I'm bullshitting, but I'm completely dead serious. I have never been in better shape in my entire life. I feel I truly gave Bryan Danielson. I feel I was dragging him by his nose at points in that match. I think I exhausted Bryan Danielson. I also think I tapped out Bryan Danielson. Go figure. But in all sincerity, Bryan Danielson is hands down the toughest competitor I've ever been in the ring with, and I was fully aware that I had to do everything in my power to be perfectly ready for that match. And I think I most certainly was, because I put on probably one of the best, if not the best, professional wrestling matches bell to bell of all time. Was that a good answer, Tony?
Yeah, it was.
Sick. So once Bryan Danielson said that he wanted to do a 60-minute Iron Man match, I believe that was that at this point probably how many days ago? 60 days ago?
It's been a while. I mean, we have to go back and look at. Does anybody? I have to look at the exact date that was on Dynamite.
Well, are you okay?
Several weeks ago. Thank you.
Dude, you're God,
That was
I hate
Seattle,
you
January
so
4th.
much. How do you know
2
that?
months.
Who just spits out that info? Stop laughing.
He is a computer, a
He's
wrestling
fucking
computer.
nut job.
Yeah, he's
I
something
thought you were
special.
fucking insane.
I said that he's special.
Jesus.
Even I would put over Will Washington as
God,
the master.
Will,
of dates.
honestly, honest to God, stop giggling. It's very impressive that you're.
So over
okay.
2 months.
So yeah, over 2 months ago. Do you know the date of my birthday too?
No, I don't care.
Okay, pal. It's March 15th. It's coming up. I'm having my rebar mitzvah very soon. So, what was the goddamn question at this point?
You
Will
said
just
how long
amazed
the
me.
preparation period.
So yeah, so he said it about 60 days ago. And like I said, every day, I was not exaggerating. That's literally what I did every day. I was punishing myself. And I would stay in that sauna until my lungs literally could not take it anymore. And I would have it up to an absurd temperature. And I did Stairmaster almost every day for an hour. I did very heavy lifting, as anybody can see that follows me on social media. I got up to the point where I was doing a 150 dumbbell bench press flat. And I've never been this strong. I've never had this much great cardio. And again, I understood the task at hand. The task at hand was, I knew if I was wrestling Bryan Danielson, I'd be in for the fight of my life. I knew I had to go the devil versus the dragon, and that's no easy feat. And I knew that I wanted to have the greatest exhibition in the history of our sport. And whether you people like me or not, and I can give a shit if you do, Dave, I don't think anybody can pretend at this point that I'm not the most complete professional wrestler in the business today, whether you like me or not, whether you agree with what I have to say or not. I just think it's the God's honest truth. Who's this good on the mic? Who's this good in the ring? Who's the complete package like me? Nobody.
Hey, Reg.
All right, Reg. He has a one rap song I really like.
It's Righteous Reg,
Yeah.
Graph City Podcast.
I know who you are, dude. Just
Also,
get to the question.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Yeah. Oh, PWI. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went 1 hour with Brian Danielson.
1 hour
tonight.
and what? 7
1
minutes?
hour plus
Yeah.
with Brian Danielson. Great job.
Thanks.
Who would you say is next in line for the AEW World Champion? I think somebody like Hangman Page had a great victory tonight.
Yeah.
He could
Sensitive
possibly
cowboy.
be next
Yeah,
up for it.
yeah.
Do you have anybody on your radar, or are you just moving forward as the AEW champion? No problem.
To be brutally honest, like I said, there's a lot of people on my radar. I am fully aware that Hangman Adam Page is a good competitor. I'm also fully aware of how I won this. Anybody know who I beat for this Dynamite Diamond Ring originally? Hangman Adam Page. I think Hangman is scared of MJF, and I think Hangman knows better than to come anywhere near MJF for the time being. There are other people here that I genuinely, really don't like. I also don't love the fact that a guy like Jungle Boy or Darby Allin or Sammy Guevara is allowed to walk around like they are homegrown superstars. Yes, they're homegrown. They're very solid. But at this point, I think it is very obvious that there is only one pillar that actually holds this place up. So kind of would like to prove a point there. Adam Cole was talking shit on Twitter. Wasn't a fan of that. Think he should keep his fucking mouth shut, and maybe he should tell his girlfriend of his to do so as well. Are there more people? Sure. I don't like Claudio Castagnoli's face. I think Eddie Kingston's a crybaby bitch, and I think he's also a little punk, and I wouldn't mind getting a chance to slap him across his blue-collar face. There's a lot of people that I would love to absolutely demolish both on the microphone and in the ring. But as I said, I don't do dream matches. The only dream I have is to hold this and for the reign of terror to last in eternity. Next question. Yes.
MJF to Salcedo. So I'm curious, you've done a lot of stuff now in AEW.
Your voice is graining, but keep going.
I do want to ask you, in terms of, where does this rank for you? Where does tonight rank for you?
I think tonight is the biggest statement of all. I think I'm just going to state a fact, and if anybody in this room disagrees with me, that's fine. You're wrong, but it's okay. There's this weird thing, because I am a special attraction and I don't wrestle as often as everybody else, that I'll wrestle. Everyone will be reminded that I'm the best professional wrestler in the world. And then by the time I wrestle again, I'll actually read Nimrods on social media go, MJF's really good on the microphone, but I don't know if he can hang in the ring. And it happens over and over and over and over again. Maybe, perhaps, after tonight, everyone who tweets that can shut the fuck up, because it's ridiculous at this point. Jungle Boy match, Darby Allin match, Sammy Guevara match, Chris Jericho match, Cody Rhodes match, CM Punk match. Do you want me to keep going? I can keep going. Tonight, the Ricky Starks match. I've had so many fucking classics at this point, and yes, I don't wrestle often. You want to know why I don't wrestle often? Because I'm not a fucking mark. I'm not. I have the world title. This is the only thing that matters. Why am I going to fucking get punched in the face for no reason? It's dumb. I'm going to let these idiots do that. And if at this point anybody questions whether or not I'm the best in this business, if anybody questions whether or not I can go in this ring, I implore you to stop fucking bullshitting yourself and just watch my fucking matches back. You fucking idiots. I was reading people, sincerely, Tony, again, on social media. And I love this shit because it just puts a fucking gigantic chip on my shoulder and it sharpens my fucking horns. Okay. I was reading people actually saying 60 minutes MJF. I don't know if he can do that. Fucking what? What? It's outrageous. So are we done? I'm asking you guys, because you are the cream of the crop of the marks. Are we done pretending? Are we done pretending that MJF isn't the most complete wrestler? I'm fucking sick of it. No more pretending that I can't go as well in the ring as I can on the microphone. Enough already. It's over. It's done. Stop comparing me to dumb motherfuckers that can only talk. I am not one-dimensional. Enough. Next question.
Last question for Max. Amanda Darmati, marketing manager at Hinge Health. What's motivating you to do all
Hinge,
this?
the dating app?
Hinge Health.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I've been on Hinge recently, by the way. It's a great
Not
app.
the same. Not the same. Close enough though.
Yeah.
So what's motivating you to do all this? What's on your mind in the ring?
I want to make sure that I go down as being just as great as I say I am. That means the world to me. Leaving a legacy in this business means the world to me. This sport, as I was discussing before, sorry, these pickles are fucking so good, and I can't get over the fact that sorry. There have been a lot of people who are really good on the microphone, but can't back it up in the ring. And I feel it's happened for so many years that people just assume, oh, he can only talk. And what the legacy I want to leave is the same legacy that, you know, the types of top guys in this industry left, where they felt like the most complete package possible. I want to go down as the best wrestler of all time. And that's why I do this. Now, do I care if people agree with me? No. It's about how I feel. How do I feel right now? I feel not only am I on track, I feel that at the tender age of 26, I've arguably already had a Hall of Fame career. Sorry. I've been in some of the greatest rivalries in the history of the sport. I have had some of the greatest oratory exhibitions in the history of the sport, and I've had some of the greatest matches in the history of the sport, and I'm only 26. That's nuts. And this guy is very, very lucky to have caught me at the time he caught me. I'd say thank you, but then I would be an insincere piece of shit. So I'm going to grab this crutch, and I am going to go upstairs, and I am going to eat more of these Kalen and Kalen pickles. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. No fucking golf clap for MJF. Okay.
Boo, Max.
I fucking hate you guys.
You suck.
God damn it. Can you carry these fucking
Boo.
Jesus fucking Christ. 7-star match. Excuse me.
We've got Ricky Starks.
Hey, absolute Ricky Starks. What a great match. Great. First one, huh? Wow.
So what do you guys want to talk about? What's up, y'all? Okay. Seems like you're all doing well. Got it.
Hi, Phil into the Bleacher Report. We just had a guy in here, your reigning AEW World Champion.
Right.
How soon are you trying to get back in the ring with him and get your rematch?
So I'm glad you asked that question. I think it's important to let everybody know, because there's been speculation of why I beat somebody and then wanted to beat him again. If I did it once, I can do it twice. If I beat a former AEW champion, that means that I skipped the line and now I can go back to getting my shot at the AEW championship. That is ultimately what this whole thing has been about since day one. I am not a dumb young kid. I know what I'm doing. Obviously, people don't think that. So after tonight, obviously, I feel like I'm in contention to be the guy next up, especially after how December went. I feel like it's well worth it in my playground to actually go after it and be a little bit more prepared, honestly. So
Ricky, we spoke after you gave that incredible promo on Dynamite that really kind of lit this fire of momentum that you've been on.
Which one? I've done so many now. I've lost track.
We
honestly.
lose track all the time. When you spoke to Max and you said something about you're going to take the responsibility off his plate, little boy. That was the ending line. After that promo, even though you lost the match at Winter is Coming, you've just sustained an incredible amount of momentum ever since. Got right into this white hot feud with Chris Jericho. Can you just kind of talk to me about the importance of sustaining your momentum ever since you came back from injury?
I'm a guy who's done it on his own since day one. I don't have anybody back here politicking for me. I don't have anybody here trying to take me under their wing. If you want to really consider it, I'm kind of an outsider. But I like that feeling. I like doing it myself. I did it myself when I was with Hobbs. I did it myself when I lost the FTW championship and I had to go out there and spill my heart when people thought the FTW championship was a goddamn noose around my neck. I made it what it is today. That's what I want people to understand. And I'll be damned if I sit back and I just let that all go away. I just let it all go away. There was no way in hell that I was going to let what I built up from not even last year. Let's start it back to 2020 when I started here. I have kept all that going. I want you to understand I've kept my momentum as strong as possible due to my hard work, due to me and my passion for this company. And I am so proud and I'm so glad that people see it. I'm so glad that I can let my mom see exactly what I'm doing on TV every week. It is not lost on me the type of momentum that I have built up. You want to count it 3 times. I can count it 3 times on my hand, the amount of times that I've gone out there, got 30 seconds, got a minute, and I still made it happen. It's important, man. It's so important to beat Chris Jericho. It's so important to come out the week after I lost to MJF and stand shoulder to shoulder with the people that y'all consider the top of the mountain. Baby, don't forget about Ricky. I'm up there. I don't know how many times I gotta prove it. I can prove it till I'm blue in the face. And as light as my skin complexion is, that ain't a very hard thing to do. Okay? I want to make sure that I carry this momentum all the way through. If I dip, I dip, but I promise you I'm gonna come back up. It ain't gonna stop there. So tonight was a very big deal for me. Hello, Denise. Tonight was a very big deal for me. So I don't want y'all to think I have a chip on my shoulder or anything like that. I don't believe in that type of, thinking, but I love working hard and I love being passionate about the thing that I'm putting out there. I hate half the shit I say sometimes, but you know what? It comes from here. And that's what matters to me. So I appreciate that you understand that momentum is a thing that you need around here, especially. And I refuse to let that just waste away. Chris Jericho, Max, all those people can get it. Whoever else. Kenny Omega. Where's your water?
Right here.
Need some? No, I never see you without it. That was a question.
Hey, Ricky, Jason Jones, The Athletic.
Nice.
You talked about momentum and how do you keep momentum in this business? You had a great feud with Chris. What do you do now to keep the momentum going?
I don't know. I that's a great question. Obviously, I am put in situations where I have to create this energy. You know what I'm saying? You can't destroy energy, obviously, but I have to create it. I think for me now is, admittedly, I lost myself within the first few months of this year. I lost who Ricky was. I'm sure you guys kind of probably saw a little bit of that at times. But I found him again, and I found my confidence. I regained my confidence that I had. Now it's a matter of, okay, what's next for me? Because I'm up here, right? I know y'all don't want to see me do this again. No one wants to see me do that again because then I had to do this again. I think honestly for me, it's at this point is contending for a championship. And I know someone's going to ask me, well, it can be the AEW championship. It can be the TNT. It can be the Atlantic. It can be all 3. I can be that person. I think I've already proven that. I already proven I'm a main eventer. I've already proven that I'm the guy. Why not go for some type of gold now, you know? So for me personally, I'm open to those. Chris was a great cap in my feather, but it doesn't stop there. And I honestly think, man, I'm just ready to carry the whole goddamn thing.
It was a great way to start the show tonight. I think it was a classic match with Chris Jericho and also a great way to start the year. Really, 2023, we started the year with a great match.
Yeah,
You
that's
beating
true.
Chris
The fourth,
Jericho
Jan
in the first pay-per-view of 2023.
My
Also,
first pay-per-view win, by the way, everybody. I just want to put that out there. This is my first pay-per-view win of all time. God, and it was against Jericho. That's great. I'm so proud of myself. That wasn't.
So,
my man.
Yeah. So for people that never saw you before AEW, I think that the promo that you did with MJF
Right.
was a moment where everybody was like, wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you had gotten your confidence back. Was it that promo where you got your confidence back, or where was it last year that you regained that? And what are your memories of that MJF promo?
I had regained my confidence well before that speech in Austin. You know, I kind of lost my confidence a little bit. It was before that time. It was before like October. I lost it, and it was hard to find it. And I think after what you heard in Austin, Texas, after the Battle Royal was 100% how I feel, and was 100% Ricky Starks. And I honestly think that is what y'all like about me, is that I am a genuine person. I don't come up here cursing, dropping F-bombs, having to crap on your looks or make fun of you and take the low-hanging fruit route. That is not who I am. I am above that bullshit. I tell you that. That's our champion. God help me. All right? That's the thing about me. Sometimes I will lose it, and then I will regain it back in spades. That happened with Chris Jericho months ago. Brother, you told me I suck, I'd believe you. I would believe you. You told me that I'm not it, I would have believed you. But a few weeks ago, I realized that I cannot lose what I have. I can never lose it. I can never be buried. If y'all want to get to that, I can never be blackballed. I can never fail, dude. That's the great thing about me. I will succeed anywhere, in any situation. That is what I have finally embraced and realized, especially with the Chris Jericho thing, especially when Max was going toe-to-toe with me. The confidence will never falter from here on out. And I believe that till I die. Will.
Ricky, obviously, Will Washington, Fightful.
Oh, thank you.
So somebody you spoke really highly of as having a big influence on your career is The Undertaker.
Okay, yeah.
And no, I wasn't going to go there. But, but Undertaker, of course, famous for among other things, a famous streak. And there seems to be a streak developing in AEW that you got to be a part of, which is the fact that Chris Jericho, who has competed at every single AEW Revolution, has never won at one. He's now 0-4. You're the 4 and 0-4. And it's a who's who of names. It was Jon Moxley, the Young Bucks, Eddie Kingston last year. So how is it being amongst those names that Chris Jericho has not been able to overcome?
Well, 4-leaf clover is lucky, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Run it up. That is, I didn't know that little factoid. I like that. But also, I'll be honest with you, I don't care that much because I beat Jericho. That's all that matters to me. The fact that he has a losing streak going on, not my business anymore. The fact that Ricky Starks finally won at a pay-per-view. I think this is my third pay-per-view. No, my fourth one, because during the Jacksonville days.
Yeah, Revolution.
All Out was my first pay-per-view appearance with the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So
Revolution Cinematic.
Look at that. The fourth one, you know, I finally am here. I'm doing it. Well, fifth one, whatever.
Three-way double or nothing.
Yep. It's cool, man. It's really cool. I want to really emphasize the fact that my first pay-per-view win means a lot to me personally, especially when I was sitting on the sidelines for some of these shows. And I said on Twitter, that's why I'm so big into manifestation. I said, hey, this will be the last year. This will be the last pay-per-view that I sit my ass off of this. And ever since then, I have been on every pay-per-view because I said it and I willed my way to it right now. My first media scrum, believe it or not, right now. Wild.
Two more questions. Hi, Ricky. Amy Nimini with WrestleJoy.
Hi.
So Chris Jericho has spoken very highly of you recently in the build-up
What'd he say?
to Revolution. He called you a great wrestler with
Okay.
a lot of charisma, and you obviously there were some things that he suggested that you needed to improve being a young talent. But I was
Okay. All right.
curious-
Okay.
I was curious about the narrative around you has gone from he is the future, like when you first made your AEW debut, to he is an absolute star. Like there's been a definitive shift into how people see you, including how your opponents see you. So I was curious what your thoughts were on that, and also whether or not you've worked with Chris Jericho. You've beaten him twice now, and he is one of the greatest of all time.
Sure.
Is there anything that you've learned from working with Chris Jericho that you've added to your repertoire as the absolute Ricky Starks?
Great question. There are a few things that I've learned about Chris. He's a very masterful type of conductor in a way. I think for me, it wasn't so much. How can I say this without, getting kicked off the next show? That's why you wouldn't do that. I know that. I guess for me, learning from Chris was all of the right things to do at the right moment. Right. I'm a big believer, and I've talked about this heavy in interviews that I've done about the people that I want to wrestle here. I've mentioned Kenny, I've mentioned Punk, I mentioned all of these people with the experience because iron sharpens iron. To wrestle Chris Jericho, that is iron sharpening iron. I think coming out of this, I'm a better performer, I'm a better entertainer after all of this. Not to say that I wasn't before, but to add just a little bit of some extra flair to a well-seasoned meat that is me, I think that worked out as perfectly as it could. Chris is a legend in this business. I don't think y'all realize how old Chris is. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but I'm saying it to say he's been doing this for a very long time. And to have him on the roster is a very vital thing for people such as myself who are hungry, who don't want to sit in catering and have to just wait for the next thing. You know what I'm saying? That is what I have always wanted since I've been here. I had it with Sting, didn't get it for a bit. Now I got Chris. You know what I'm saying? There's more to it from that. So Chris is a very, very special type of talent. I will give him that. And I did read an interview where he said he saw a glimpse of, everyone's favorite comparison that y'all have for me, The Rock. And I thought that was a very nice thing to say because he has been around and been with the greats. So whether he meant it or not, I don't care. It's already out there in publication, so people just believe it. But yeah, I've learned quite a bit. If anything, I thought this segment that we had, or the interview, that we had in Phoenix was more of a test than anything I've had here in a very long time. And not to toot my own horn, but I think I delivered on it. Yeah. We have one more?
Last question for Ricky.
Hey, Dave. Nice shirt.
Hi. So everyone, I feel like, comes without their own personal style to
Who's
show what they're
talking?
made of.
Oh, hi. Sorry. I have astigmatism. I can't see far. So sorry about
I
that.
have an astigmatism too.
Nice. Oh, you say astigmatism. I thought it was stigmatism. Okay, sorry.
So I was saying, everyone comes out with their own personal style to show what they're made of.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your style, your brand? The Matrix.
Style is everything to me. It really is. It's this is how I dress in real life. You can attest to that. It's a big deal because everybody seems to think, basketball shorts and your own PWT shirt is the move. Not me, baby. I like it. It expresses who I am. It gives you a better idea of who I am, another side of me that you don't usually get to see. And I know that there's, people who are stylish, that try to be stylish, should I say. Me personally, I don't know about y'all. I get that wrestling fans aren't the most stylish people there is, but to see me, you are stylish. You are stylish. The all-white party was very stylish. But I will tell you, this guy asked me a question about who's the most fashionable on a scale of 1 to 5. I did give you a 2. Only because in the definition of fashion, Paris fashion and all that, you dress for comfort. You don't care about what people think of you. Okay. This is stylish and comfortable.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it wasn't a knock to you, but in the definition of what he said,
so
I had
with
to
2 being the highest.
I gave you a 3.5 because I said my man is comfortable, but the all-white party, you killed it. Style is a very big deal to me, as you can see, only because it expresses another side that you don't get to see on the AEW television. So me personally, I will always do that till the end of time. I appreciate that some people really like it. I know that there was like a Twitter page where just different styles that I had. That's cool to me. My real hope, and this is the God honest truth, is that I influence some wrestling fan that watches or some, casual viewer. I know you hate that word, casual viewer, to be inspired to be like, wow, this guy is a wrestler. He looks good and he dresses very, very well. I aspire to be just like him. That is what I want. I appreciate you, checking out the fit. Who snorted? What? You like it? I didn't like that answer. Your fit's cool too. It's real, Cali, like San Francisco. Makes sense.
Thank you very much, Ricky Starks.
Thank you. Thank you, Ricky.
Are we doing the hug thing?
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah.
It's great. That's great. Tremendous. You're the one who asked. That's great. And the hits keep on coming. Hey, champ.
Champ is here. Thank you, sir. What's up, guys? You guys are real quiet. Jeez. I'm used to a bigger pop when I reveal myself.
Let's go.
Last year at Revolution kind of started the singles Wardlow that we see here today. And now at this year's Revolution, you recapturing the TNT title. Can you kind of just talk to me about the full circle nature of where you've been as a wrestler the past calendar year?
Yeah, gosh, I think I'm officially Mr. Revolution between last year.
I got a question.
What's up, Hobbs?
Champ, but my question to you, what are you going to do Wednesday when I kick your ass? What are you going to do Wednesday when you have the shortest title reign? This becomes mine, right? Looks pretty good on me, right? Right?
Sorry, please don't.
Wednesday night. Book of Hobbs. Continue. 3 days, Warlow. 72 hours. Enjoy.
Do you really just touch my title?
Thanks for being very professional about that.
I won't be Wednesday, Tony. You gonna pay for that. Back to your question. Oh man. Just real quick. So this actually looks real good because both of these, last year it was this year it's this. I am Mr. Revolution. I am the revolution at this point. And a little history lesson. I don't know if anybody remembers. My first time cashing this in was not successful. It will not be successful for Hobbs either. But to further your question, yeah, the past year I've finally been on my own. And I haven't even scratched the surface. I think this coming year is the true year of Wardlow.
Will Washington, Fightful. So one of the things you mentioned when you walked in was having a bigger pop. And one of the things I want to ask about, last year, you were probably the hottest thing going in AEW. You couldn't get fans to stop chanting Wardlow. And somewhere in the last few months, I think you've even talked about the fact that you did cool off. So with this being your second TNT title reign, what do you plan on doing differently to ensure that that doesn't happen this time around?
Oh, trust me, I'm still very hot. So it's going to start this Wednesday with Hobbs. Tonight, I dethroned the king of television. And I don't sit here to claim to be any type of a king. I sit here before you stating I am simply just a man claiming to be the best. And I look very forward to proving to this entire roster that I am. Because there's a lot of guys running around this roster calling themselves that. So with this title reign, my only goal is to prove them wrong. And it starts this Wednesday with Will Hobbs. And I will go to extreme measures to ensure that I walk out still the champion, still the best.
Corey Lee.
And to further that, I would like to, it's a conversation I need to have with him, but I would like to do the TNT Open Challenge because I want them all. I want our whole roster. I want people from other rosters. When I say I'm the best, I mean it, and I'm looking to prove it.
Corey Lee with Wrestling Observer. How you doing today? Congratulations on your win. A couple weeks ago, you did a sit-down interview with Jim Ross about your dad and opening yourself up to more of the audience to actually to see the real Wardlow. How did that come about? And do you feel like you now have a more connection with the audience, that you've kind of let them in a little bit on what you are as a man, as not only that, but as a professional athlete as well?
Yeah. So it came about with Joe cutting my hair off. You know, everything I said is real. Everything I say is real. I will always give you guys my heart and soul. So I had 4 weeks off after that, and all I could do was think about my father those 4 weeks. That was my connection with him. So I just decided, you know what, when it's time to go back, I am going to explain why this meant so much. And from here on out, moving forward, I am going to give you the raw, real me, because again, I haven't even scratched the surface as who I am as a man and what makes me. There's a lot of story to tell, and over time, we'll tell it.
Hi, Amy Nemedy with WrestleJoy. So you tapped out Samoa Joe tonight. Like, you won.
I put
via
him to
submission.
sleep.
That's crazy. You won
I
via
think he's still
submission
snoring.
on Samoa Joe, and clearly you're hungry for that championship. Will Hobbs is hungry for that championship too. So how are you going to prepare for somebody who's just as hungry as you are for that championship to carry that gold and represent the company with the TNT championship?
I promise you, he ain't as hungry as me. And even though he just disrespected the hell out of me, I give all the respect to Will Hobbs. There's not many men in our locker room like him and myself. So I will always appreciate Will Hobbs. We're cut from the same cloth. You know, we're a unique beast. So I know it's going to be a fight. I know I only have a couple days to rest up and probably have a harder hitting fight than I had tonight. But like I said, he's not more hungry than I am. I have a real big appetite, and it doesn't even end at the TNT title.
Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer. You know, when last year in Vegas, obviously you were, you know, one of the stars of the show, maybe the star of the show, is to the fans coming out. And you beat Max, who is now the champion. So at what point, I mean, coming off of that, You know, it was like you were perhaps ready for being in that world title picture. And here we are. Max is the champion. You have a very clean win over him. What are your thoughts about that as far as future goal or, you know, chasing that dream?
This kind of goes back to everybody running around here calling themselves the best. That's his catchphrase, right? He's better than you, and you know it. I think I proved last year at Double or Nothing he ain't better than me. I will give all the props to Max in the world tonight. That was impressive, and I was not expecting that. But I mopped the floor with the kid. Power bombed him 10 times, put my foot on his chest, and pinned him 1, 2, 3 clean as a whistle. So is he better than me? And I would love to be the first ever TNT and AEW World Heavyweight Champion simultaneously.
Righteous Reg, Grab City Podcast, and PWI. Kind of piggybacking off of your championship match happening this Wednesday. Like you said, you don't have a lot of time. And on top of that, it's California. Hobbs is very, very popular here in California. How do you plan to combat not only giant, hungry, angry Powerhouse Hobbs coming for you, but pretty much the entire arena is probably going to be on his side?
I'm a lone wolf in every aspect of life, and that's how I've always been. I appreciate my fans probably more than any professional wrestler on this earth. And there's a lot of people that will back me up on that. But at the end of the day, I don't need anybody to have my back. I don't need a single person cheering for me, because most of my life, I've been the only person cheering for me. So if everybody wants to root for him all day long. I'm still going to do me.
Hi, Liz from Lucha Libre Online. My question for you, Wardlow, is coming into this match, I know it was you have been, showing interest or stating of how personal this was. What was your mindset going into this match to not allow your emotion to get the best of you so you don't get disqualified or any type of way? So, you walk out with the TNT championship. And aside from that, I just want to say congratulations on your win tonight. Thank you.
And it's actually funny you say that, because I had a moment tonight about 10 minutes before my match where it was, I did get a little emotional. And it was the most emotional I've ever been going into a match. And I think there was a time where I had a full mount on him raining down fists, and I think I almost did come close to getting myself disqualified. It takes many, many years of anger to gain the peace and control that I've had to learn to, because I didn't always have control on it. And thank God I learned to control it. So it doesn't matter how bad somebody pisses me off, how personal things get. I'm a monster, but I'm an intelligent one, and I can control myself to make sure the ending is how I want it to be.
Last question. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Wardlow. Mikey Nolan with PWI. The new show coming out, AEW All Access. It seems like there's a lot of love for you from the fans, and they'd like to see more to you. Like to see other sides of you. Will you be involved with that show? Will they see you behind the scenes?
They will, actually. Yes, I will make a few appearances here and there on the show, and would love to do more of that. Like I said, this is going to be my life's work. So I want to give my life to you guys and the fans and this company and this business. That's all I've ever wanted. It's all I want to do. So you guys got me, man.
Love it.
Thank you, Wardlow.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. Tony,
Thank
thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much. Thank you.
Okay, guys, you have some time with Tony. Questions?
Let's see you Wednesday.
I'll go ahead and give this back to Will Hobbs personally.
Okay, Corey.
Hey Tony, how you doing?
Hey, cool.
Do we have a gate number from a gate and everything? in
Over
regards to
$800,000. I think
800?
it was the record for the city of San Francisco.
Okay.
And our attendance record, I think, also would be right in line with the best attendance we've ever had at Revolution. About 9,000 people total and over 8,000 people paid. So really, really strong.
And you announced on the pre-show that Double or Nothing will be at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, as well as 2 shows at the MGM Grand as well. Are you guys going to be doing other events like a fan fest like you have done in the past, or is it or basically just going to be the 2 shows and the and Double or Nothing at T-Mobile?
Still working through the week what we're going to do in Vegas, but we'll definitely have more information coming out about Double or Nothing soon. But I'm excited to be going back to Las Vegas where we started everything and celebrate 4 years from the beginning of AEW on pay-per-view. Thanks, Corey.
5th edition.
It's 5th Double or Nothing and 4-year anniversary. Yep.
Hey, Tony, it's Righteous Reg.
Hey, Reg.
Craft City and Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Yes.
I have a couple questions about Revolution and kind of time management, I guess, maybe. How do you feel in comparison? Because you had less matches, but you did have the Iron Man match. How do you feel this time stacked up to other pay-per-views that you've had in the past? Do you feel like it was better having less? And 2, does it, with having less time, you got to feature less talent? So a talent like, say, Jade Cargill wasn't featured on the show tonight. Are you going to make an emphasis to kind of feature the people that didn't get to get featured after this, or is there something else?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the people that weren't featured tonight will definitely try to feature people in upcoming shows. And again, when you try to do the best pay-per-view you can, and there's been a lot of positive feedback about the match total, but the truth is the duration of every AEW pay-per-view has been almost exactly the same, except for Double or Nothing to 2022 last year, where it was a unique situation because the NBA Eastern Conference Finals were going to Game 7. And for business reasons, I thought it would make a lot of sense to put a lot of the meat of the card after the game was probably going to end. And it did work because it was the most late buys we've ever done for any AEW pay-per-view ever. And so every pay-per-view has been in the range of between 3.5 and 355. So this was in that same range. So there was less leading up to the Iron Man match, like you said, because we needed to leave more time in the remainder of the card for the main event than we ever have before in the past. But generally, every pay-per-view has ended before 11:58 Eastern, before 8:58 Pacific, except for one, which was by design. So, but to your point, we tried to manage it so that we could have the best pay-per-view possible. And I thought it was one of the best shows we've ever done. But when you have a 60-minute Iron Man match, especially one that ended up going to sudden death overtime and wanted to allocate that much time on the back end, it definitely meant less matches. And we tried to feature as many people as we could, but still have long matches because I thought it was the perfect balance. And it was one of the reasons it was a great night. I thought the pacing was really strong. And all the matches that led up to the main event were pretty much very strong matches. I thought up and down the card, a lot of great matches tonight and one of the most balanced, best shows we've ever done. Thanks, Reg. Hey, Dave.
Tony, how you doing?
Great. I'm doing very well. It's great to see you.
Good to see you too. From a roster standpoint, I mean, you have a large roster, and then like this week you brought in Commander, and he comes in and wows everybody. And I mean, how much more how many more guys can you bring in, and how, every time you bring somebody in, it makes it even harder to feature everybody. I mean, you have with the amount of television time that you have.
Absolutely.
So what is there any kind of plans as far as an ability? I know with the Ring of Honor, you're opening up another hour or two each week, but as far as more time for AEW to be able to feature more people, or it's basically that.
That's a great question. I think the 3 hours we have right now are great place. And before AEW launched, it was something people were missing, was having those hours of wrestling TV on a strong channel like TBS and TNT. So in being a challenger brand, that's something we brought back. But I would love to have more hours of wrestling television. It's great that we have AEW All Access, which is huge for the company and a big opportunity to get that real estate following Dynamite. And I think we'll be able to have really good audience flow from Dynamite into All Access. There was really a lot of positive feedback about that announcement. It seems like I know the network is very excited about how much engagement there was about All Access, but from a wrestling standpoint and trying to grow the roster and keep people hot when they get opportunities, it can sometimes be, at times it's been challenging for a couple reasons. 3 hours of television, and also injuries and things that have come up and changed circumstances. I think injuries you can never eliminate completely, but we try and do everything we can from a physical standpoint. And when people need time off, we'll give it to them. And I also think, to your other point, 3 hours of television right now, people can count on seeing the best lineups we can put out right now on TV. But I think we absolutely have the capacity to do more and more TV if that opportunity presented itself. And I think there is demand for it. So that's something. And also, it was really positively received, as you said, when you mentioned Ring of Honor. I think the first show this week was really positively received. It's been a really strong business week for AEW and Ring of Honor overall, because I can say tonight, first and foremost, for Revolution, as I said, the gate was tremendous. And also, I haven't gotten asked yet, but I know I was going to get asked. From a pay-per-view standpoint, it looks like it was a very successful show. Looks like in line with some of our recent shows, and probably, I think, up from Full Gear, and possibly in line with what we've been doing for Full Gear, Forbidden Door. Some of these shows that have been in the range of 130 to 140,000, I think we could be in there. And I'm very excited about that, just based on early digital receipts. I also think probably with a strong word of mouth, I would expect a good chance to get replay buys off of Revolution tonight, because it was a really great card. And I think there was a lot of really positive buzz about some of the matches, in particular, the World Championship Ironman match, the Texas Death match, and a lot of other great matches, the Trios Championship, and a lot of great stuff up and down the card, from Starks and Jericho on to the main event. And also for Ring of Honor, really positive business week. I can tell you now, as of today, just for coming off the first television, which has been very positively reviewed, and we've had really great feedback on the first show, we're at 12,000 streaming subscribers now for Honor Club, which is up there with, I believe it is as good as Honor Club has ever gotten, even when Supercard was featured on it with MSG. And so we've gotten the business there, as from a streaming standpoint, starting from scratch, because we launched a new app. So that's showing that I think there's engagement with that Ring of Honor TV, which gives opportunities for some of the great stars in AEW that, for one reason or another, depending on who it is and when and where it is, might be good to give them a chance in a program on Ring of Honor and feature them there. We've also done that with New Japan, and had a lot of our top stars wrestling either in New Japan Strong or matches in New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom and other big shows. So I think, with partnerships, like obviously working closely with Ring of Honor and with New Japan, I think that gives us a good opportunity to work with other wrestling companies under our partnership hood. And I do think we could definitely, if called upon, we could definitely present more really quality television with the roster we're building. Hey,
Phil, Bleacher Report. At one point this year, it seemed like you guys were teasing Mercedes Moné coming to AEW at some point, at least in the mystery tag, as a mystery tag partner. Were there any discussions with her, and is there any interest in working with her now that she's IWGP Women's Champion?
Well, I have a ton of respect for the IWGP Women's World Champion. She's a tremendous wrestler. I wouldn't want to comment on discussions I'm having with any wrestler who's a free agent, in particular, a wrestler who's a champion of one of our partners. But a ton of respect for that great wrestler, and that's somebody any wrestling company would be very fortunate to have wrestling for them.
Hi, Tony. Stephanie Chase from Digital Spy. So I have to ask you if there's any movement on your UK show, because it was when I was last over here in November that you first mentioned it, and then you said London, And then we didn't get anything else. So I think people were expecting more news on that. So any development is Jeff Jarrett helping there. And then also over in the UK, oddly now we have Warner Brothers and BT Sport. They're taking over them. And now BT Sport is going to be like TNT Sport. And that's what WWE is going to be on in the UK. Does that cause anything for you with your Warner relationship? And you have your ITV one in the UK, but it is quite an odd thing that WWE will be on TNT in the UK.
That was
albeit
3 or
TNT
4
Sport.
questions.
It was, but you only get one chance.
But no, it's good. I'll answer them one by one. Well, I've been working on this UK thing for a long time, and to be honest, it predates when Jeff came in, what I'm working on. But Jeff is now on the team that's working on it, but it's something I've been trying to put together for a long time and have made a lot of progress on it. And I will definitely be making that announcement. That's something we definitely still plan to do this year, is debut AEW in the UK. And our debut show will be in London, and it'll be something very special and memorable for the UK fans. I really have so much appreciation for the UK market and have driven up and down and all across the country, working in Premier League football and in championship football. And I've never been able to promote AEW there, but it's something I'm really looking forward to bringing there. I have a lot of friends and close business associates and people I really care about in England, and I'm excited to be able to have them come to AEW finally. They've been hearing about it for a long time. The relationships we have in England with TV actually predate some of my relationships here in America. I've had a really good relationship with the folks at ITV for several years, and they were some of the first people I talked to about AEW when I first started working on this 5 years ago. And so we have a great relationship there, and that'll be something that'll really benefit us when it comes time to announce AEW's debut in London. And as for the other TV partnership, it's a great partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery here, but we're working with great TV companies all around the world, and Warner Brothers Discovery works with great partners all over the world, no matter who they are. And so that is the rebranding of BT Sport is something that has happened, but also, we've got tons of great TV relationships. I think first and foremost is our great Warner Brothers Discovery relationship here on TNT and TBS in America, but again on ITV in the UK and TSN in Canada, and recently announced ESPN in New Zealand and Australia, which was tremendous. And they actually covered the Super Bowl in those territories. So we were able to get really good coverage there and get good buy-in. Did that all the questions? Thank you, Steph.
What's up, Tony?
Hey.
Baby Huey from 107 Sound the Bone.
Hey, it's great to see you in person.
Yeah, man. Cumulus Media. Congrats. Welcome to the Bay Area. Congrats on running your first week of shows here in San Francisco. And just curious, your overall thoughts on just your impressions of running shows here in San Francisco. And just curious, is there a timeline you could potentially come back to San Francisco and or maybe the surrounding cities, Oakland, San Jose? We have a rich area of just so many different venues to possibly work out of. So yeah, just curious a timeline of a return.
Well, it's a great question. It was an awesome debut week here. It was tremendous to have our first Bay Area shows in the Cow Palace and then debut here in the Chase Center. The crowd was awesome, especially tonight. The pay-per-view crowd, very memorable show, one of our best shows we've ever done. So I think it bodes really well for a return, and I think there'll be a lot of great word of mouth about this show here in the Bay Area, and more people that want to check out AEW. And certainly I think a lot of the people that came to the show would want to come back for repeat business. So I think it bodes really well for us on the return. And so I'm very excited to come back here to this building specifically. Cow Palace was a great home, and I think for a pay-per-view home, this was awesome. So I would love to come here again for another big event, whether it's a Dynamite, Rampage, a pay-per-view, or any major AEW event. Thank you, Hugh.
Here you go, Liz.
Hi, Tony. This is Liz from Lucha Libre Online. Question is, I know you guys made your debut to the West Coast or California in general last year after Double or Nothing, went to LA. And then you went recently in January as well. I know that there was a mention of possibly, bringing out a pay-per-view to Los Angeles. I know you had a great success here with your debut of, just coming to the Bay Area in general with shows, Dynamite, Rampage, and also having a pay-per-view. Is there any way that we're going to be getting a pay-per-view maybe in Los Angeles or anywhere in SoCal anytime soon?
Well, we definitely have had a lot of success in California. Again, there were over 9,000 fans here at the show tonight and well over 8,000 paid. And we had a lot of VIPs and sponsors attending the show also. So it was a really great record revolution crowd for us. And I think we've had great success, as you mentioned, in Southern California also. Great shows at Ontario, and specifically some of our best TV gates we've ever had have been at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. So definitely California in this past year since we've debuted here has been one of our best markets as a state. And there are several markets within the state of California. So having just done this pay-per-view here in Northern California, it's a great question. And yes, I definitely think Southern California would be great for an AEW pay-per-view. Also, I will be in Southern California very soon, not for AEW, but for the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, March 31st, which is actually coming up in a few weeks. I'm really looking forward to that show, Friday, March 31st. The tickets are flying for that. It's at USC's Galen Center Basketball Arena, and it's a great card. Bodes really well there. And like I said, it's great renewed interest in Ring of Honor, and certainly, first and foremost, really great time for AEW. And to your point, with the success of Revolution here in Northern California and with the success of the AEW TV in Southern California, it would probably bode well for more big AEW shows in Northern California and Southern California. Thank you.
Hi, Tony. Liam Crowley, comicbook.com.
Hey.
A bit of an unpredictable year to start off for one of your stars, Kenny Omega. We heard reports about visa issues possibly blocking him from attending some AEW Dynamites. And just recently, we heard reports about his contract possibly being extended due to the time he missed away from injury. I just wanted to know if you had a comment on either of those two subjects.
No, I think Kenny Omega is one of the best wrestlers in AEW history. He's one of the most decorated wrestlers. To have somebody who's been World Trios champion and had a great match defending that title tonight, World Tag Team champion and the world champion. He's done everything you can do as a world champion in this company, and also the IWGP US champion. And this year alone, he's had some of the best matches in the world. I thought it was an excellent match on the pay-per-view tonight. He started the year with a great match in Tokyo versus Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. And Kenny Omega can do anything he sets his mind to. He's one of the best stars in the world, and I hope he's here for a very long time. Sure.
Will Washington, I'll piggyback off of that a little bit. So on the topic of, I guess, the E and AEW, the Elite, they had a match tonight against House of Black. It was, for me, my favorite match on the card. I thought they tore the house down. But one of the criticisms going into this was, of course, that we didn't see much of the Elite or House of Black building up to this pay-per-view up until really late in the game. And that has left a lot of the Elite's fans kind of wanting more. Do you have more planned for this rivalry going forward, or was this kind of a one and done?
I certainly think you could revisit it based on the great match they had tonight. The rivalry could be revisited. It's definitely something potential. To touch on something we addressed, there were weeks in the last couple months there was a challenge, and Kenny's obviously made it back, but there was one thing and it's set behind something I wanted to do. And then also you may have noticed that a couple weeks ago when they came out that Buddy wasn't here, and there was that too. But we, even with two members of the House of Black, I think this was the match we wanted. And you might remember a couple weeks ago on Rampage that Brody and Malachi went out, and they were initially the ones who put the challenge out face to face effectively. So I thought at that point, even with the two members of the House of Black we had, it was made a lot of sense for them to go out and put out that challenge. And I think everybody internally felt like that was something that made sense to build towards. Unfortunately, we didn't get to have them face to face as a 3-on-3 as early as I might have liked. But everybody involved, all six of them, were tremendous in the match. And the last few weeks, I do think there's been a lot of anticipation. Even if it would have been good to get them together a week or even a few days or however much sooner as possible. the 6 of them had an amazing match tonight, and certainly I would love to see the rivalry revisited at any time.
A few more questions. Go ahead, Amy.
Thank you. Hello, Tony. Amy Nemini with WrestleJoy. Congratulations on a wonderful pay-per-view. I was curious as to what your reactions were to the crowd, because we've talked a lot about making a lot of debuts on the West Coast as you've been touring different cities. And a lot of these places like San Francisco have been waiting for you to come here and are very excited to see you. The crowd was on fire all night. A lot of people around me were losing their voice, and yet somehow they still came in for the main event for 60 minutes, just red hot. Just as they had been for the whole show. So I was curious as to what your reactions were to that during the show.
I thought they were tremendous. Thank you, Amy. Thanks for your kind words about the show. I really appreciate it. And I thought the crowd tonight were excellent. I really do agree. I thought they were with the show from the beginning to the end. They had the AEW chants before the opening bell for Jericho versus Starks. And they were with the main event through 60 minutes chanting, "This is awesome." They went nuts for the restart, the sudden death overtime, and they were with it through the very end. Definitely one of the best crowds we've ever had for a pay-per-view tonight here for Revolution in San Francisco. So again, it bodes well for more AEW in San Francisco, and we're very grateful to the Bay Area fans. And it's really been a great 2023 for these debut markets. I'm very excited to go on Wednesday, looking ahead to the next show, to Sacramento, coming off such a great show tonight. I think there'll be even more interest, but we have a great crowd coming, and we've got a great record with these debut cities. The energy I expect will be really good in Sacramento for our debut there. Tonight was great for the debut pay-per-view, and this week in the Bay Area. And then we had really great energy in Phoenix, which was probably our most successful TV show just a couple weeks ago, to have the highest TV rating since Grand Slam and the most watched biggest total audience since the 3-year anniversary show. So it definitely felt like a major milestone event up there with our top shows. And really, in addition to those crowds in Phoenix, great crowds in Seattle and Los Angeles, Fresno, even not necessarily in the West Coast, but I thought the Lexington crowd was tremendous. So really a lot of great crowds and debuts. So hopefully that pattern continues. They were a huge part of why the show was such a success tonight. And that's something we've been very fortunate with, is having great audiences at our pay-per-views. So really good one tonight. Hey, Denise.
I do have a question because I wanted to bring this up. FTR, we got to see them come back here tonight. So I wanted to get your thoughts on, having them come back and, how you felt about it.
Well, you know what, Denise, it made me smile because I was thinking of them. You know what it made me think of just now is you worked the Ring of Honor Super Card of Honor last year, and you were there when the Briscoes and FTR first in person after all the back and forth, and they'd had the face-to-face at Final Battle. But of course you were there when they locked up for the first time. And to be honest, it was great to see them. And that's what I thought of. I think a lot of people know I have seen, we have seen each other, and there was, I think, photos and stuff. I know I saw a photo of Cash and myself at Jay Briscoe's memorial service. So I know people, know that I've obviously had some communication, but, that's probably the first thing I thought of is honestly Jay Briscoe. And it's great having FTR back here. The reason I think of it is because I think it was one of the greatest series and some of the greatest tag team matches of all time. And I think the 4 of them will be linked forever. And I'll never be able to, look at any of the 3 of them ever again without thinking of Jay. And started the night out thinking of Jay too, when Mark Briscoe was out there, and that he did it for Jay. And I thought the promo that Mark did the other night to set up this match was so beautiful, and that was completely from the heart. That's what he wanted to say, because it's true. So I think with them being back here, it was good to have like another piece of that family back together. And I know it meant a lot to them to be back, and I know the Guns said that they had buried FTR's career and that it was dead and gone, but those rumors may have been premature. Thank you.
Okay, Corey.
Yeah, just one more question that I had about the AEW video game Fight Forever. There was a release that said that it might be coming out on the 31st of March. Do we actually have a date yet on the video game, or is it, or there, you don't have any answers at this time?
I can't say the exact release date. There's a lot of things that go into that, and I don't want to step on anybody, but that it is coming very soon. The game is finished, and it's been very, very highly acclaimed, and it's been very, very honestly, a lot of fans have been really looking forward to it for a long time, and I'm just so glad that we have a game in place that is been very well received. It went to a festival competition, and it's an award-winning game now officially, and we're basically at a place now where it's just officially scheduling that release and all the things that go into it. So I can't say right now, but that'll be a big day when we put that date out, and it's coming soon. Thanks, Corey.
Question for Tony?
Anybody? That's good. Going once. Hey, Phil.
You talked about the success of the debut of Ring of Honor. Just how different is it booking and writing for Ring of Honor than booking and writing for Dynamite?
Oh, what a great question. Thank you. That was one that I was really hoping I would get asked, and I really appreciate you asking it. It's, we've done 178 episodes of AEW Dynamite now, and doing a 2-hour wrestling show with breaks, it's complex. And when you look at the format of Dynamite and what it is, I don't want to bore everyone or get over complex with how many segments or how many breaks or how the timing of everything. But a lot goes into writing a TV format, especially for a 2-hour show. It's actually a lot more complex, even with a 2-hour show and the number of segments and the placement of them versus even a 1-hour show. But doing that with breaks and that regimented time and having to be out, especially on live television, and having to hit those times and pitch to the next show, especially if there's like live sports or something where there's no chance of any overrun, it's really challenging. And it's funny because when I was 12 years old, I started writing wrestling TV shows for fun. And the one that I always did from when I was 12 years old for fun and something I always have loved doing from when I was like in junior high. And then ironically on Wednesdays, I went to Lutheran school, and then I missed I transferred to the University of Illinois Laboratory School, and then the confirmation class was in 8th grade. So I wasn't in with the confirmation class. So I went on Wednesday nights to confirmation. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but while we was learning some stuff, I have a lot of, I'm a multitasker. So while I was taking in the scripture, I was also writing episodes of Dynamite in the back of the room on Wednesday nights. And the Dynamites that I wrote all through high school and college, the reason I say this and bring it up, they were a lot more like the Ring of Honor shows. They didn't have commercial breaks. There were a lot of matches. They were a couple hours long. I didn't have to hit a hard time because I wasn't answering to a network. It wasn't like a firm time slot. It was just a thing I was posting on a message board or, in an email group. And it's always been called Dynamite. But truthfully, like the lessons of doing TV shows, and there's been, I believe, so many great episodes of Wednesday Night Dynamite, but the Ring of Honor shows, Phil, actually probably do resemble, to your question, more of what I grew up writing. And it's funny because I think it's in a lot of ways, it's easier. It's easier to put together studio tapings and have coherent things and have one thing flow to another versus having to come in with live television, the challenges of a week, somebody gets sick or an injury flares up and not having everybody in one place. Like the way stuff flows from studio tapings, it's the easiest kind of wrestling to do. I'll be honest with you. So it is a lot of the challenges of producing the AEW shows, having those restrictions taken off. It's a lot of fun. And I really enjoy being able to put those kinds of tapings together. There's other drawbacks. There's other ways AEW, the presentation is more expensive. It's higher production values, but it's also a more challenging production environment. So there's a lot of pros and cons about it. At the end of the day, AEW to me is always first and foremost about what we're doing, but the fact we've been able to bring Ring of Honor back and get it into a position where it's in so many ways, basically every now metric, whether it's pay-per-view at the all-time high last year, the most buys they ever did, now for our Honor Club as strong as it's ever been, and we've had all these high attendance marks too. So I'm excited about that, and it's a lot of fun, and I think it presents great opportunities for people outside of AEW to get jobs in wrestling and have spots and matches that weren't working for us in our universe, and also for people here that are great, like great stars, people I have all the respect in the world for. And I think when you see the kind of people that are in Ring of Honor right now, and also some of the people that are going to be coming to Supercard, it's some of the best names in the world, and it's also not booked minute by minute ratings. Not everything. A lot of times the way I'll do something on Dynamite is balance, an optimization of trying to do the best show and trying to get the ratings up. And it's not always a perfect correlation, but that's what I'm trying. And I think a lot of the times it works well. And with Ring of Honor, you're appealing to a different fan base. And I think in a lot of ways, I feel like there's with sometimes like a match that like a hardcore fan and a lot of the people in this room would want to see. I think it's easier to gauge what people would want to see from the hardcore fan base because there's more like-mindedness among the online fans and the hardcore wrestling fans. I think there's a lot of similarities there's not 100% agreement over who we like or who we don't like, but I do think like a lot of us, I don't want to say a hive-mindedness, but certainly there is like a correlation between the people we like and don't like that we, who, and take AEW out of it. I think if we all just sat down and got pizzas and had a drink together, I think there'd be a lot of like-mindedness about who we like and don't like in the history, even if we talk the 80s or the 90s and matches and shows. And so I think that there's a lot of goodwill, and I feel like that's something that that AEW was able to monetize on an international level more so than any promotion had to that point. But I also think that when you're in 150 countries and you can't lean on wrestling history, and not everyone would necessarily know 20 years of history between two wrestlers or how far back a rivalry goes, I think that's where like building consistency week to week is important. And I do think like this has been overall a good year for AEW Dynamite. Like, every show has strong ups and downs, but I feel like most of the episodes in 2023 have been really, really strong. So that would be batting pretty strong. I mean, we're batting a very high average this year, I think. So, but it's a balance to your point. So Phil, I'm glad you asked about it because that was the one thing I'd thought about this week, because I felt like really good coming into this because honestly, the last, Thursday and Friday, the last couple shows I've been at, I thought were pretty strong. I thought Friday Rampage was really good, but even coming into that, I felt pretty good because there was such a positive reception around Ring of Honor. And when I saw that the streaming subscriptions were so far up, and honestly, they've more than doubled in recent weeks, and like to be over 12,000 for Honor Club is unprecedented and certainly above what our internal team had projected to be at this point. And with a really good card for Supercard, I think that bodes well. But then the thing I always try to put the most focus on and I'm always thinking about is AEW. So for months, like, first thing I think of every morning is Revolution, and wanted to make sure that tonight went really well. And I think tonight went really well and was really positively received. So I really want to thank all of you for coming. It was a really big deal to have this be our first show in San Francisco. It's one of the biggest markets in the country and one of the most important sports markets in the world. And everybody who covers AEW, a lot of you traveled really far to come here. So I just wanted to make sure I was able to get everyone's questions answered and visit with you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks.
You get to go home. You got an answer.